Good morning, my dear students. I'm your science teacher with a summary of today's Zoom online science class. In the previous lecture, you were taught about the 7 basic nutrients of food that were carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, water, and dietary fibers. And then some details about the digestion and digestive system were also taught to you. In today's lecture, I'm going to revise the digestive system along with some more details. Let's start the topic. This is digestive system, and it helps to break down large molecules of food into smaller molecules and its absorption into the blood. It includes the following organs: mouth, esophagus, stomach, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, large intestine, small intestine, rectum, and the anus. It is a long 10 meters coiled tube starting from the mouth and ending at the anus. Dear students, if you remember in the previous lectures, I have told you about the larger molecules of food that are the proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And they are going to be broken down into smaller molecules. Like proteins are going to be broken down into amino acid, carbohydrates are going to be converted into simple sugar like maltose, fructose, and galactose, and fats are going to be converted or broken down into fatty acid and glycerol. All this breaking down is done by means of the secretions or chemicals known as amylase, protease, and lipase. Dear students, I have also told you that digestion is of two types. Number one, chemical digestion by means of the enzymes, and mechanical digestion, for example, the physical breaking down of the food by chewing the food by means of the teeth or the muscular contraction of the different organs involved in the digestion. Now I'm going to discuss all these parts one by one and how the food passes through these different organs and what happens in each and every organ of the digestive system. I am going to discuss digestion by means of the flow chart. This is the flow chart. In the flow chart, we have given all these organs, and I am going to discuss each and every one along with its function. When we take in food, it is called ingestion. Okay, we have taken the food, it first goes to the mouth. This is the first part of the digestive system. In the mouth, both mechanical digestion and chemical digestion takes place. In the mouth, we have a set of 32 teeth, and we also have a muscular tongue. Now the teeth chew the food and the tongue rolls the food. This is the mechanical digestion. Okay. Then in the mouth, we have a special gland that is called salivary gland, which secretes the saliva. Saliva contains an enzyme which is known as amylase. Now this amylase enzyme is responsible for converting carbohydrates, large molecules, into simple sugar. Simple sugar are simple, smaller particles or molecules, and these simple sugars are maltose, fructose, and galactose. It means that the digestion of carbohydrates start right from the mouth. Now the food from the mouth, it goes to the esophagus, which is also known as the gullet or food tube. Over here, no digestion takes place. It simply moves the food to another organ of digestive system, and that is called the stomach. By the muscular contraction, this food is moved to the stomach. See in this diagram, when the food is taken into the mouth, it will pass on to the esophagus, and from the esophagus, it will move to the stomach. Dear students, stomach is a muscular organ which can hold about 1.5 liters of food. It produces gastric juices and hydrochloric acid. In the stomach, an enzyme known as protease, it converts proteins into amino acid. And the hydrochloric acid will kill the bacteria if they are present in the food. Dear students, in the stomach, chemical as well as mechanical digestion takes place. Mechanical digestion takes place by the contraction of the muscular walls of the stomach. It is also called churning of the food. And the chemical digestion takes place by means of the chemicals that are known as gastric juices, which includes protease as well. So far you have learned that carbohydrates are converted chemically into simple sugar in the mouth, while proteins, the larger molecules, they are converted into amino acid in the stomach. Now the food will enter the duodenum. This part is the first part of the small intestine. It connects the stomach with the rest of the small intestine. The small intestine is just named small. It is the largest or the longest part of the digestive system. It is a coiled tubular organ about 7 meters long and 3 centimeters in diameter. A major proportion of the digestion of food takes place over here. So the duodenum part of the small intestine, it receives secretion from the liver and also from the pancreas. I am going to show you with the help of a diagram. See, this is the liver and it secretes a secretion or enzyme known as the bile, and this bile is stored in a pouch-like part that is called the gallbladder. This gallbladder will secrete the bile into the duodenum. Also we have pancreas over here. They are now hide over here, but they are present over here, and these pancreas produce pancreatic juice. Both these enzymes help in the digestion of food. The bile emulsifies the fats. Emulsification means they break down the fats into the fatty acids and glycerol, while the pancreatic juices, it digests the remaining proteins or carbohydrates. So dear students, you have learned that fats are digested in the small intestine, and the remaining proteins and carbohydrates, if they are left undigested, they are also digested in the small intestine. It means complete digestion of food takes place in the small intestine. Once the larger molecules are converted into smaller molecules, now they are ready to be sent to the cells of the body. This is the diagram of our small intestine. It's just a part of small intestine. You can see that the inner part of the small intestine, it is not smooth. They are covered with a finger-like projection that are called villi. See, this is the villi. You can see over here also, this is villi which is present inside the small intestine. The villi, in the small intestine, they are suited to the task of absorbing digested food, because number one, they give the small intestine a larger surface area for absorption of the food. Secondly, they are well supplied with the blood capillaries. And thirdly, they are very thin and they can absorb the food very easily. Dear students, once the food is absorbed in the villi of the small intestine, it goes to the blood system. It will be transported first to the liver, then the liver will be responsible for its distribution to each and every cell of the body. This was all about the part of the food that was digested. Now we will discuss what happens to the water, minerals and vitamins and the undigested part of the food. It will simply move to the large intestine. What will happen to that food? The undigested food and the water and the minerals, it will be transported to the large intestine. In the large intestine, water and mineral salts are absorbed. The undigested food is stored in the rectum part of the large intestine in the form of feces, which is also known as the stool, and then it is passed out through the anus. What happens to undigested food? It is first stored in the rectum, and in the time of need it will be eliminated out of the body in the form of stool. This is known as egestion. Intake of food is called ingestion, and elimination of the undigested food is known as egestion. This was all about digestion. I hope you have understood it. Now I'll discuss some questions with you. Do these questions in your classwork copy. Before the Eid holidays, you have done short question number 1, then short question number 2. Now today you are going to do short question number 3, 4 and 5. Question number 3 is, give 3 reasons why the villi in the small intestine are perfect for absorbing food. Answer: villi in the small intestine are perfect for absorbing food because number 1, they give the small intestine a large surface area where absorption can take place. Number 2, they have a thin layer of cells on the outside, and number 3, they are well supplied with the blood capillaries. Then we have short question number 4, define digestion. Answer: digestion heading. Digestion is the breakdown of large molecules in the food into smaller molecules which can be absorbed into the blood. And then we have question number 5. What are the different steps involved in the process of digestion? This topic was discussed in one of my lectures. I just first want to show you that. In my 3rd lecture, I have discussed this topic, that the steps involved in digestion are: number 1, mechanical breakdown of the food, chemical breakdown of the food, absorption of the small molecules, and then removal of the insoluble waste materials. That is the undigested food, for example. I have told you just now also, but in my previous lecture I have discussed this topic. So this concept is given in question number 5. Answer: the different steps involved in the process of digestion are mechanical breaking down of the food, for example by chewing it; chemical breaking down of the food by using acids and chemicals known as enzymes. For example, we have used the enzyme amylase, protease, lipase, etc. Absorption of the small molecules that can be used. For example, when the food is digested, it is absorbed into the bloodstream, and it first goes to the liver, and the liver distributed to each and every cell of the body. And then we have the last point, that is removal of the insoluble waste materials from the body. That part of the food which is not digested, it is eliminated from the body. So these are the points or the important steps that are involved in the digestion of food. Now you have to do this question number 3, 4 and 5 as homework in your copy. This was all for today. Meet you in the next lecture. Until then, Allah Hafiz.